Pump, 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 pump it up. Pump, 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 pump. What up? What up? What up? What's good, my good people? Welcome back. If this is your first time tapping in, welcome. I am Etienne, and this is another update on my way to the 2026 New York City Marathon. I appreciate you joining. Unusual week this week. No running so far. About midway through the week, and I got 0 miles on the board. It's the first time that this has happened since I started in November of last year, and we're figuring it out as we go. It's also an unusual week in that I have a higher target or goal for mileage. Last week I ended up at 21 and a half miles on the week. The week prior I had been at 21 miles. Basically trying to increase the mileage by a half a mile, 0.5 each week over week. That way I'm very steadily increasing the overall distance and mileage month over month. This week, thanks to our little friend, the Nike Run Club app and the fitness app on my phone, I'm going to put up 28 miles. And that is due to, or in part, as part of a challenge that we have going this month for Black History Month. So I appreciate them including us, even in a small way, like a fitness challenge. Black History Month in February is always the shortest month of the year. Take that and do with it what you will, but I appreciate the moment to acknowledge all the greats who come before us and the people who kind of paved the way, walked so that we could run. Cliche, whatever cliche or pun you want to go with, but the people whose work allows us to do the work that we're doing, and for me to enjoy the life that I do. I don't take it for granted, and I try to make sure every thing that I do has some element or some percentage of it that is in gratitude, in service of the work that those folks did. And there's many of us doing that work today in big ways, in small ways, in strategic ways, in organic ways. So again, unusual week. Gonna run tonight. It's almost 5 o'clock now. Baby's here sleeping. This is the last full week of my paternity leave, so daddy daycare is soon coming to an end. I'm a little sad about that. And if I'm being honest with myself and you all out there, very sad about that. It's been absolute pleasure and a very beautiful time in my life to be home with the baby, to be here learning about parenting and learning about this little person who's joined our team and who's joined our family. She makes everything better. But onward and upward, I'll find new ways to make sure that I continue that evolution and continue the focus on being super present and being very hands-on, even when I'm going through the daily grind of getting up, going to work, coming back home, and rinsing and repeating. I'll make sure to find ways to not make that as cyclical as it can be. Again, no miles on the board. It's cool. It's all good. Flexibility is a part of this phase of the process. Did complete a big workout yesterday. My brother came through. We have a gym in the building, and he's much more fitness inclined and fitness educated than I am, so he showed me some lower body exercises and absolutely kicked my ass. Sore as shit today, but that's how you know it was productive. Sometimes you can go to the gym and spend a whole bunch of time and then not really feel it after, and I want to avoid that. But yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Did some Bulgarian deadlifts for the first time. That was an interesting exercise that I struggled my way through. Strength training is not easy, and I'm not even talking about heavy weight. I'm just talking about form, doing these exercises properly, getting the most out of them, even when it's just about reps. Literally no weight. There was a couple of things that we did yesterday with a very small amount of weight, but even just going through the process of the motion for something like a Bulgarian deadlift, it's not easy. I fucked it up. I felt and looked awkward through the workout, but did it. I'll do it again, and we'll iterate on it, just like in the beginning of the running process. Still awkward with the running, still not as gazelle-like as I would like to be and that I would hope to be, and that I know I will be. But these strength training sessions are going to make sure that that longevity is on point and on target. Studies show that working out at least twice a week helps reduce injury, and that's the name of the game. That's what I want to make sure I prioritize first and foremost. Running is cool, but running over time and being able to put up that 26.2 seamlessly, a lot cooler. So strength training, I'm learning, I'm growing. My brother, again, a great resource. With anything, I'm trying to surround myself with people who are better than me, stronger than me, faster than me. And that's where some of the progress that I know is possible is going to come from. That said, doing all of that without comparing anything. Comparison is the thief of joy. I was watching a Michael Beasley video on YouTube yesterday or the day before, and he seems to have a very good perspective after a lot of trials and tribulations in his career. But he said that about, he's not the first person obviously, but he did say it in that video that comparison is the thief of joy. And at this point in his life, he just hoops because he loves it, not because there's any monetary incentive that he's thirsting for or chasing after. I'm sure he would like for it to be the case, and it's cool to see him in platforms like the Big Three or places like YouTube, etc. But this is a man who's doing it for the love of the game, and damn near the entire rest of the world, the basketball world, the sports world, I don't know what percentage. If I had to guess, I would say 98 to 99% of folks doing these endeavors are doing it for the external reward and gratification that could come from it. But that's a man who just loves to play basketball, and with the age number framework, he might on paper be past his prime, which is an absolutely horrible way to look at it. But I'm sure skill-wise and perspective-wise, he's in better shape than ever because he's been playing for so long and he's seen it at every single level. You can't really have a more interesting journey with a sport or with a endeavor than a person like that. So just wanted to shout that out. Something I learned from. Shout out to Michael Beasley. I see you, and definitely somebody that I've admired since day one when I first saw you back in those high school days. Underrated, doesn't get as much spotlight and shine as he should. Has inspired a lot of the GOATs, and they won't say it because it's probably not cool to say something like that from their vantage point, but he's absolutely responsible for the way a lot of these two-way players or these slashers and these modern basketball players do their thing. Unusual week. I won't be long-winded. That's what I got. I'll check back in next week. Wish me luck with the last several days of paternity leave. I'll need it. Last thing that I'll leave you with, I think it's important. I got a therapy meeting this afternoon. I've been doing it for a few years now, and it makes a big difference. So just a reminder or a word of encouragement to focus on yourself, focus on making sure you're good, your mentals are where they need to be. Mental health is everything. We're here talking about physical health and running and exercise, but nothing really matters if you're not right up here. So do your own version of therapy. Try multiple versions of therapy. Sometimes the physical therapy, sports, exercise, yada yada is what you need. But sometimes you need to vent. Sometimes you need to get some external perspective. Sometimes you need to tap in with a loved one that you haven't spoken to in a really long time. Sometimes you need to mend a bridge or rebuild a bridge that was broken down or that was even destroyed. And those things can refuel and refill your cup. At least for me, they have. So the last thing that I'll end off on this week is just a reminder to take care of yourself in all the ways that are important, in all the ways that feel good. It's crazy out there. Don't be overcome and consumed by what you see on the news. What we're learning is that the truth is stranger than fiction right now, especially politically, geopolitically, economically. 2026 is a bizarre place to be, but we're all very blessed to be here. We're very fortunate. It's also the best time to be a human because of all the opportunity and the resources that are at our disposal. So I feel thankful about that, regardless of any roadblocks, any challenges, any bullshit. And I'm trying to do my part to make the most of it and make that infectious. I appreciate you. Stay blessed, stay safe, take care of one another, take care of yourself, and I'll check back in. Peace.